will say from a coaching perspective, when your best player, most famous player, most kind of accredited player sets that standard every day, there's a trickle down.
Yeah.
There's a care factor. There's a priority placed on what we're doing. Maybe just talk a little bit about where that comes from.
Yeah.
Where does that desire to be there, be early?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I was born into it for some odd reason. Like I've always had a feeling of like I don't like being late to anything. It's always like I feel like it's like a disrespectful thing. You know, my stomach starts to hurt a little bit.
Anxiety.
Like my anxiety.
Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
It's like their mics, bro. It's like, why is everybody's mics doing that? They peak like.
Season's greetings and Merry Christmas to everyone joining us here at 2K Sports.
Because everybody shit don't do that.
Of the NBA on Christmas Day. This is Ryan Anderson with Grant Hill and Stan Van Gundy. And out on the sidelines is Allie LaForce. A moment here to see the numbers for him.
And for an idea of where his offense is right now, take a look at his true shooting percentage.
Because I have a very simple legacy formula.
Desperately needs.
It's very simple. I was not great at math. You don't have to be for it. It's simple.
All right, let's check out San Antonio's starting lineup. Victor Wembanyama is out there with Rudy Gobert. And it's red in at the 2-guard. And for New York, well, Grant, there's a lot to love about Christmas Day, not the least of which are the great NBA matchups.
Like my anxiety starts to ramp up if I'm late or even or tardy.
Something about playing on this holiday brings out the best in players and teams.
Dude, like, bro, why does it do that, bro?
Some breaking news here in the arena. A trade to report. So according to Shams Charania, the New York Pelicans are trading C.J. McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick to the Washington Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the number 40 pick in this year's draft. Sources tell ESPN.
Wait, when we get back? Sadiq Bey, C.J. McCollum. Oh,
No, you got Jordan. So Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the 40th.
Like my anxiety starts to ramp up if I'm late or even or tardy. Like, it happened when I was even like in like elementary school. Like, you know, if the bell rung and before I was in my chair, like I guess my whole day would be messed up. You know, and when I started to play sports, you know, I always wanted to be at practice early.
Did that come from your mom? A part of that, was that just something innate in you, the way you were wired?
I didn't pick it up from my mom. I don't think so. Like, I don't think I picked it up from my mom. I think I was just born that way. I've always been like, my anxiety, I can't function right when I'm late. And it's stuck with me throughout my, obviously till I'm now, 40 years old. But when I started playing organized sports, it was like the perfect match, like for me, because like it's like, if you're not on time to practice, you're gonna have to run. Like I played football first, Little League football. Like if you didn't run, you have to run sprints, or you have to run gashers or 17s. You know, football people out there, they know exactly what those are, and that shit is punishment. You do not want to be late to football practice and have to run, gashers or 17s or 100s. I never, unless like, I didn't have the means like to, my mom didn't have a car when we were growing up, and so. If I was late because of someone picking me up late or whatever the case may be, and I couldn't control that, even though I was still having anxiety about being late, something I couldn't control. But like, to hear Grant say those words, man, it's just always been me, man. feel like, you know, especially when you start playing sports and you're around other people, and as you get older and older and older, and you go from little league to middle school ball to high school ball, you know, and you can see the college or the professionals, wherever you are, I think I've always looked at it as like a disrespect to, you know, the people that you're working with. You know, you're late. You're disrespecting other people's time. You know, and I never felt good about that. And I didn't. What other people do, that's what other people do. You know, but for me personally, like being on time has always been being late to me.
Yeah.
You know, so to be able to get to places early and like, you know, I didn't know it was setting the tone for the rest of the group. You know, whatever stage that was. But
It's like, how you not on time, bro?
I feel like it was late.
Like, what are you doing?
You know, talk to the coaches. You know, this past summer. You know,
you say you're gonna be there at this time, so how do you go from saying you're gonna be there at this time to not calling and saying you're gonna be there at a later time?
Talk to them and see what is going on, and then the guys start tripping.
And then showing up, like, what does your brain like go through? Not being on time, like
when teammates start trickling in,
like, it's no way you're sober, right?
That set a standard. It also shows them how much you care. Right? I think that's really important, like for everyone to recognize.
There's no way you're sober.
This means a lot to Braun.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? What about the voice? Another.
The brain has to like have like the like.
He was really impressed with how you use
you're
your
not
voice,
organized, or
and how
I don't
willing
know.
you were, whether it's film, shoot around, on the bench. Just was impressed. Like, talk me through where that came from. One, like, you know, he probably wasn't there for rookie year, right?
No.
You know, like maybe high school, it was of course natural, but you move into a new league, and you have to find your voice as a player. What's the evolution there?
I was a class clown, and
so you weren't always a brown nose.
No, that only started the last couple of years. I was a class clown and a jokester, and I mean, I still am today. Like, you know, my people know I love laughing and joking and things of that nature, and so I think that's where the kind of the voice stemmed from. But when I started playing sports, like some of my little league coaches said, okay, you need to use it to your advantage, you know, of playing the sport too, you know, and helping some of the other kids out with your voice that may not feel confident in their ability to talk, or maybe don't want to talk. And, you know, and then I got into high school, and, you know, my high school coaches would tell me, like, the best thing about you besides your skill or whatever the case may be is your voice. You know, being able to, you know, call out plays before they happen, you know, call out our sets when we were coming down, be in the back line of the defense. We ran a lot of press, you know, in high school, and I would be on the second line of the press, so I could shoot the gaps and things like that, get steals of that nature. And so I was the one kind of calling out the sets. If it was like, you know, we had 12 and 21, and 12 was half court press, 21 was full court press. So I was always calling out those sets, and even when I was like a freshman, you know, it was me and Maverick. Maverick was our senior captain, but you know, I was the one, like, my voice was kind of the loudest, even as a 14-year-old freshman. And, you know, that went all the way into my senior year. My voice was always, you know, commanding, and, you know, and just knowing what was going on the floor, and it helped our team. You know, we was able to win 3 state championships in 4 years, and I see how it translated. You know, it kind of slowed down a little bit my rookie year in the NBA, not because the voice wasn't there, just because I felt like, okay, I need to sit back and soak in knowledge and learn and just see, you know, how can I, when was my voice going to be needed? You know, I didn't want to go in there just like, like when I was the #1 player in the country my senior year, but I knew when I got drafted, I was number 450. That's how I looked at it. I was like, okay, so how can I get back to #1 like I did when I was a freshman up to my senior year? How can I get back to #1? And I felt like it wasn't going to be me talking. I needed to soak in the knowledge. I needed to learn. I needed to earn it, you know. And I think when
I just like everyone out there to hear that. LeBron James came in the NBA and thought, I need to earn it.
Yeah.
That, like, hold on. We don't see enough of that anymore.
I definitely came in with I'm 450. Let's start from 450. You know, the last player in the league. Not saying that I was, but that was my mindset. How can I gain back to number one? And then when Mike Brown took over our team, you know, a couple years after I think it was my third year, maybe my fourth year, he was a defensive-minded coach, big time defensive-minded coach, and he would hear me speak in practices or like in the summer we'd come in and play, and he would hear me, you know, hear my voice. My voice was, you know, very commanding. He was like, in order for us to be,
no, don't shoot that.
One of the best defensive teams in the league up there, San Antonio and Detroit, and you know, some of the better teams. I'm going to need your voice. I'm going to need it. And from there on, I was able to do what I did best. You know, it wasn't something I needed to learn. It was something I had, but now I was able to use that to our advantage, and it just from year 3 to year 22, it's been here. Yeah, it's been here. Yeah.
So in high school, your presses were 12 and 21?
Yeah.
I just like to apologize to my high school coach. Yeah. Great coach, Hides. I don't remember shit we had. I'm really sorry. I don't remember one thing we ran in high school. I know I had a great time. I know we were a hell of a coach.
Yeah, we had Diamond. We had...
How do you remember
we had Diamond, 12, 21. We had Fist, Double Fist. Double Fist was when we turned you in the backcourt, and on the second turn, we jumped, we trapped. Make a turn, yeah.
You got me.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Our defensive season today.
How many games ago was that?
Oh my God, so many.
22. What is it?
22 years. My last high school game was in March of 2003. Maybe 2025. Oh my God.
Coachable. Remember that.
Oh, it's early.
This episode is sponsored in part by American Express. American Express has taught me that finding the perfect restaurant is
Look
a
at
lot
this
like
night. Watch this night.
at americanexpress.com/withAmex. After many years in the game, both on court and off, I know all about high-stakes shot and bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Ready for your next great adventure? Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/game and discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. We're shifting gear back to those days.
Yeah.
It's NBA draft season.
Oh, here we go.
The draft. Incredible time.
Incredible time, man.
Yeah.
Incredible time for the newcomers coming in. First of all, good luck to all you guys, to the guys that get drafted, to the guys that slide, to the guys that don't get drafted. Does not mean that your dream is not going to be accomplished, man. Just don't matter if you get picked 1, don't matter if you don't get picked, no matter if you slide. Like, the work is the work.
Thank you.
And that's all that matters. But I wish the best to all the guys that declared for the draft, and it should be a great one, man.
Yeah. I love that, though. You were the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
We all knew that for 2 years, 3 years coming in. I was, a senior at Santa Clara, was hoping to get picked 15th in the first round. Probably knew by the end I was going to be a first-round pick, but, it took me 4 years of college. There's guys that go undrafted. AR? Was AR undrafted?
Yep.
Who are incredible players in the league. We all develop at different rates.
Yep.
We all develop at different rates. So do not hang your hat on the draft and the draft alone.
Yep. Can I read something?
Yeah.
I'm going to read something.
Let's dig in the archives.
Yeah, I'm going to dig in the archives. So I have a group chat with me, Bronny, and Bryce.
Okay.
And, from time to time, I'll send just, things that just, focus them back in. So I sent this June 18th, 2024. I'll tell you who this guy is after I read this. Unranked in high school. 0 D1 scholarship offers. Played 3 years of Division II basketball at UCCS.
I know who it is.
Transferred to Colorado. And now is an NBA champion. One of the best teams in the NBA. That guy's Derek White.
Hell of a player.
Hell of a player. And my message was to them, everybody's road to success is different. So stay locked in and patient. That was my message to my boys last year.
Message.
Yeah. So.
I mean, there's a lot of stories like that. It's funny, right? Like there's more stories like that than there is stories like yours.
Right. Correct.
People didn't even recognize that. I had one scholarship offer. Stephen Curry did not get a scholarship to his dad's alma mater, Virginia Tech. His dad played in the league for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Kawhi Leonard being on a lot of radars, even when he got to the league. You go around, there's a lot of guys that develop. I mean, Giannis, coming from where he came, Jokic, second round pick.
Second round.
You go through the league, they're littered,
Mm-hmm.
with people that got there in a circuitous way, let's say. It's almost more common than the person that got there from high school All-American to college All-American.
It's way more common than the LeBron James and the Cooper Flags.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, that's a great message. I'm glad you could share that with us.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you. Speaking of Cooper, he's in a position you can relate to. He's the consensus #1 and terrific player. What do you remember about being in that position? Like, what advice would you give him? Like, you know you're the #1 pick. The whole world of basketball is looking at you.
Yeah.
It's got to come with a lot of expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, one, obviously, you're super excited. It's like, shit, it's what we all dreamed about as kids. And sitting in laying in your bed, with the basketball just shooting up, at the ceiling, working on your form, just doing that. Or, if you were able to do basketball in your driveway, then you're doing the whole countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, wanting to hit a big buzzer shot, in the NBA at some point. And then you wearing other people's jerseys growing up, you wearing other guys' shoes, just like all that type of stuff. Playing video games with all the people you inspire to be and want to be a part of. And now the moment is here. So you're just like, you're in awe, man. You're like, wow, I can't believe that this dream is finally coming true. And at the same time, there's a little anxiety and pressure that comes with it too. Because, as a #1 pick, the expectations are automatically put on you. It doesn't matter if they're right or wrong, and we're around the same age. I was 18 when I was drafted. I believe Cooper's 18, maybe turning 19 soon, but it's all the same. But it takes time, man. It takes time and the expectation to wanting to put a 18-year-old, 19 kid in a position where he's like, he needs to be great right away. I think it's unfair, but it's also something that I think we can, as kids like myself and Cooper can use as like motivation as well. And I personally think that he wants to be great. He had a hell of a year at Duke. A guy that can do so many different things on the floor, can play with the ball, can play without the ball. His jump shot is going to continue to get better. Super athletic, quick second jump.
What are we doing?
And also, he has the benefit, unlike myself, he gets
Kyrie,
to join a team that's
AD,
established,
Clay.
with Hall of Fame guys, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, right off the bat. Hall of Fame coach Jason Kidd. These guys are like, they can give him
That's
the
insane.
whole blueprint while he continues to learn what his blueprint will be. And I think that's going to be an incredible thing for him to have, that type of presence, that type of leadership, that type of just basketball IQ and knowledge around him every single day from those pieces. So I think he's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And an environment, right? That's not we're the worst team in the league.
Right.
We're going to try to
learn bad habits.
Right.
That happens too, man. You get guys that you never know what their trajectory should have been, based on if they were in a toxic environment or losing environment or an environment that had great habits. Like we mentioned Kawhi, we don't know if Kawhi would have ended up somewhere without those type of built-in habits in San Antonio. Would he have been, he would have probably been great, obviously. But he had time to hone those skills, be around Timmy, be around Manny, be around Tony, be around Pop, to where he was able to get better on his own time and not the league's time.
Right. So unique, we forgot, right, but the player, obviously now he's such a world-class player, but he's playing for championships right away.
Yeah.
That's a totally different, it's a very unique position for a rookie. Did you play with Cooper in the summer? Were you in those
I
practices?
played, yeah. He was on the development team, on the select team, we call him. Yeah, and he played extremely well, man. I've been watching Cooper for a few years because my son played AAU basketball on the Nike EYBL circuit, Bronny. So, you know, we would be in tournaments either in like, you know, Peach Jam in Georgia or Kansas City or Dallas or Indianapolis. And, you know, Cooper, unlike a lot of kids, he played for his team out of Maine. A lot of these kids are going to like recruit or whatever. Him and his brother and a bunch of those guys they grew up with played on the, I think they were called, I forgot, it was Maine Select or something like that. But you know, he made them competitive, like versus teams that were stacking teams. You know, him and his brother. You know, I thought that was just super cool because that was how I remember me. That's how I was. You know, I played for the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars. Like, me and my guys grew up playing together and happened to play all the best teams in the country. I just thought that was super cool. But, you know, he's a big-time talent.
Yeah. Said something about his mentality. What did you notice practicing with him? What did you notice about his mentality?
Oh, he just made winning. So winning. It just seemed like he made winning plays. He just made winning plays. And even at his first year at Duke, you know, he just made winning plays. You know, and obviously, you know, the fact that he was the freshman and I think he was player of the year this year as well, ACC player of the year.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Rudy Gobert.
I just thought he just played the game the right way. How you will hope that, you know, a player that of his caliber just comes to work every day just trying to get better. And I just think he's getting better and better.
That's a great indicator, right, of the success. They're willing to make small plays that mean a lot to winning. So I would say, like, the one thing for such a prodigious talent that we want to wait and see what happens with is how good is he with the ball, right? Like, he obviously is capable with the ball. We've seen him do a lot of things with the ball, but is he that primary guy? Will he be? But I love to hear that, like, well, I think he's going to get there. I love to hear that his mentality is, I'm happy to do whatever the team needs.
Yeah, and he has, and a lot of people, he has the ability to do it at this, you know, especially at this point. And, you know, when you have, you know, the guys that they have, he doesn't have to put too much more pressure on himself. You know, he can put the pressure on himself to get better every single day. But as far as, you know, his rookie year or his second year, he doesn't have to put the pressure of making every play. He has guys out there that can help him with that. So, you know, I think he could possibly be in a position where he could, you know, build into who he's going to be at his pace and not with the league expect the number one player picked.
Where's my 25 a night?
Right, exactly. What you should be doing is your number one player. You're the number one player out of high school. But, like, you know, maybe that's not my timeline. And I hope he doesn't get pressured by what the narrative timeline is because you're the number one player picked.
So what do you think it looks like? I mean, that's a huge thing for him to go to a winning team where the pressure's not on him to score 25 a night from the start. Awesome. Great for his development. Well, there must be, like, you've been in this position, there must be a little bit of a sense of relief on draft night just to get it behind you.
Yeah, for sure.
You feel that way?
Sure.
And then what does it look like? Like, what was your mentality after the draft? Because now it's like you've built up to this thing, like you said, in the driveway, in bed at night. Now you're drafted, you're going to an NBA team, you're moving to a city. What was your mindset like? I mean, obviously you knew you were going to Cleveland early. He knows he's going to Dallas. What was your mindset like of, like, this is what this summer looks like?
Yeah, it was. You know,
you're young guys.
Yeah, super young. Yep. And you know, I have been building up for the NBA for a couple of years. You know, like you know, my junior and senior year of high school, I have been, you know, I wouldn't say building up to, like, you know, to play against those guys, but I kind of knew that, you know, after my junior year that I had an opportunity to go straight out of high school. So I was kind of building up, you know, my reps, building up my strength, building up my stamina, things of that nature. And then right after the draft, I was okay. You know, just get to work. You know, I knew summer league was coming up. You know, and I didn't get an opportunity to be a part of Vegas long, many years ago.
Where was it?
We was in Boston to start, and then Orlando. Yeah, that was
more regional. Utah out here. Way back there at Long Beach.
Yeah, they had Long. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. So I was just getting ready for, you know, for summer league, and it was just a lot though. Like I couldn't really, like, you know, really locking in on, like, you know, you had so much to do. You got the media stuff to do. The ESPYs was going on, and, you know, they want you at the ESPYs, and they want your summer league here. But I just wanted to have fun with the process, you know, and you know, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of pressure. You know, the games were like sold out for summer league games, and it was a lot of pressure in that sense. But just want to try to have a lot of fun with it and make the most out of this summer going into a rookie year.
So how did you manage, like, everyone's personality is different. Like, I could see you enjoying going to the ESPYs and being like the center of attention in a way because you have a fun, gregarious personality that like Cooper may not be that way. What was your approach to that stuff? Like, I had the ESPYs, obviously I got all this Nike stuff, media stuff, other brands. Like, how did you as an 18-year-old kind of manage that?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun for me. You know, it was super fun for me. I always kept the main thing. You know, like I understood that at the end of the day, I had to.
Mr. One go left.
I had to work. Like if I wanted to enjoy it, I needed to work. And even when I came out to LA and did the ESPYs, I literally left summer league in Boston, flew here for the ESPYs, I believe, and then right after that, I had to fly back to Orlando. But I didn't miss a day in the gym. I stayed in the gym. I wanted to work. I wanted to get better, and I also wanted to have fun and enjoy it, but at the same time, understanding what the main goal was. And the main goal for me, the only reason I'm invited to the ESPYs is because I play the game of basketball. And that is, you make sure you keep that the main thing. That's the focus. Right. And I think for Cooper, as long as he understands, you keep the main thing. And, Pat Riley has made that, a famous quote. I kind of knew that. I knew that even as an 18-year-old kid. As long as I keep the main thing, and nothing will sway me away from what I want my career to look like.
Shout out Pat Riley.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's the work, right?
That's it.
Stacking days, being consistent.
Man, there's no substitution for